Thank you very much. As you know, that's a refreshing change when I'm in large groups of people. I'm often asked when I first saw an NHL game in person and when I fell in love with this magnificent sport. Quite frankly, and when you look at these earlier pictures, I'm too old to remember my first game, but I can tell you that I distinctly recall as a kid using the GO discount cards that they gave us in New York City public schools, then taking the subway, going to the old Madison Square Garden, and buying a 50-cent ticket for the worst seat in the house, and I'd often have a little bag with a sandwich for dinner with me to watch a game. Truth be told, though, I was pretty lucky because I grew up in an original Six city. Children and adults, for that matter, across the United States, when I was young growing up, didn't have the chance to see hockey the way I did. They didn't get a chance in those days to see the speed, the intensity, the teamwork, the skill, all the great things that come along with our game. And not to bore you with a biography, don't worry, I won't, but when I went off to college at Cornell in Ithaca, New York, my passion for hockey only grew. I, like so many other students up there, camped out for hockey season tickets on a hockey line. You actually had to sleep out for 1 or 2 nights just to get the right to buy a season ticket. And I attended countless games over my 4 years at Liner Rink. The amazing thing about those Cornell teams that I had the privilege of watching, and they were terrific teams, was that there were virtually no Americans on the roster. In fact, on the team that played for Cornell in my senior year, 1973-74, there was precisely one American. David Palmer was his name, from Grosse Pointe, Michigan. And by the way, I bet David Palmer, career total no points, probably never thought he'd be mentioned in a Hockey Hall of Fame speech. Anyway, over my full 4 years at Cornell, there were exactly 3 Americans on the Cornell teams representing 2 states. They, all 3 players, combined for a grand total of 4 points. Fast forward to today. Over the last 4 years, the Cornell roster has included players from California, Colorado, Delaware, Illinois, Massachusetts, Minnesota, New Jersey, New York, North Carolina, and North Dakota. The Cornell experience not only illustrates the amazing growth of American hockey, it is also an excuse for me to brag about the fact that Cornell's men are now ranked number 3 in the country and defeated Harvard this past weekend, although they did lose to Deputy Commissioner Bill Daley's Dartmouth. And just as important, the number 4 ranked Cornell women's hockey team features 17 Americans this season, including standouts from California, Iowa, and Virginia. We are now in a place where record numbers of young people across America are playing hockey, many at an elite level, and some go on to play in places we never imagined. Some are just a fraction of what we dreamed was possible, even as a youngster when there were just 4 U.S. teams in the Northeast. It has transformed us, hockey, not just the NHL, into a nationwide game. In the last 27 years, the number of U.S.-born players in the NHL has doubled. 2 of the last 4 overall first picks in the NHL draft were Americans, and they were born in California and Florida. The 2019 draft saw a record 7 players for USA Hockey's under-18 team selected among the first 15 picks. The explosion in U.S. hockey was driven by a number of things. One of those top overall picks, Austin Matthews, raised in Arizona, said that it was going to a Coyotes game in Arizona as a young boy that first exposed him to hockey. The NHL Board of Governors has had the vision to encourage expansion to new markets that were never thought of as hockey hotbeds. From the explosion of the Cannon in Columbus to the sold-out, raucous, country music-oriented crowds in Nashville, the NHL has helped to bring hockey to entire regions of the country that never had an opportunity to focus on our sport or the NHL game. Think about this. On New Year's Day next month, in Dallas, in the heart of college football country, there will be more than 83,000 fans in the Cotton Bowl watching the Nashville Predators take on the Stars. Under Henry and Susan Samueli's ownership in Anaheim, the Ducks have introduced 18,000 students a year to hockey through their street hockey initiatives. And the number of high school teams in Orange County, California, has grown from 1 in 2008, when the Anaheim Ducks High School Hockey League was launched, to 51 high school teams competing this year. And people like Bill Foley saw the possibility of how a city like Las Vegas could embrace hockey and the NHL. And perhaps as important, we all witnessed what hockey could do for a community in the face of an unspeakable tragedy. But the NHL doesn't and didn't do it alone. Countless grassroots programs and growing youth participation, so much of it due to the hard work of USA Hockey, has helped lift the NHL every bit as much as our league might inspire young fans and players. Last year, a record number of children registered with USA Hockey, and that includes a record number of players at the critical 8 and under level for both boys and girls. While these are perhaps some future NHL players, most importantly, these are children who will get to reap all the benefits of our game: teamwork, leadership, discipline, responsibility. Hockey at the grassroots level, to create this environment for young people, would not exist without the amazing work of so many volunteers and the team at USA Hockey, starting with Ron DiGregorio, Jim Smith, Pat Kelleher, and Dave Fisher, all of whom do incredible work for the game. I also want to take a moment to remember the late Jim Johansson. Jim's energy and efforts to support and grow the game will always be a cornerstone of hockey in the United States. My fellow inductee tonight, Neil Henderson, is the living embodiment of Hockey is for Everyone. His work at Fort DuPont has brought hockey to young people that for too long didn't have access to our game. Years from now, when people look back at what I believe will be considered the golden age of the growth for American hockey, they will see Neil at the root of it. Our NHL programs go hand in hand with all that USA Hockey does, and together we help support Neil's efforts at Fort DuPont. We've developed Learn to Play programs that have touched more than 50,000 children in the last 4 years. It also goes without saying that my colleagues at the League have been instrumental in all of our efforts, and they have my gratitude for their incredible work with these programs and on behalf of the game. None of the success we've experienced at the NHL happens without our dedicated team at the League office, so I thank all of them, and I am grateful to all of you who work with me day in and day out. We would be here all night if I tried to mention everyone at the league office and all of our general managers, coaches, players, and especially our owners who have been responsible for our successes over the years. But a special shout out to the NHL owners for their incredible support and guidance, and in particular the chairman of the board, Jeremy Jacobs of the Boston Bruins. And of course, we don't exist without our incredible fans, the most passionate in all of sports. Okay. I would also like to specifically recognize and thank my partner at work, Deputy Commissioner Bill Daley, who has been a counselor, confidant, advisor, and friend, and really my professional alter ego for more than 20 years. In addition to Neil tonight, I am, of course, honored to be entering the U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame with a distinguished group of fellow inductees, Chrissy, Tim, and Brian. Your contributions to American hockey are why the game is where it is today. And congratulations to this year's Lester Patrick winner, Cardiac Jack. Your impact, you can clap for him, on the training profession has been nothing less than profound, and I'm glad you agreed ultimately to accept the recognition. It was really a hard sell. It was unbelievable. Anyway, I also think it's fitting to be here in Washington as Alex Ovechkin receives the Wayne Gretzky International Award with his personality, his passion, his incredible skill. Alex has inspired countless children, not only in this city, but across the country to get involved with hockey. You can clap for that too. Congratulations to Alex, and as importantly, thank you for all you do. But while we're talking about Alex and the Washington Capitals, I would be terribly remiss if I didn't also thank and congratulate Ted Leonsis for the amazing job he and his family have done to make hockey and the Capitals part of the Washington, D.C. community. This team is fan-centric like no other team. This team, this organization, focuses on the connections that need to be made with the community and make a difference in people's lives. And if Alex is the great one on the ice, Ted is the Alex Ovechkin of owners. So congratulations, Ted, and thank you. And when Steve Levy told us that the Leonsises had decided to purchase mittens and a scarf for all the Fort DuPont kids who were here, there was a little bit of a gas in the room. I got to tell you, I wasn't surprised, because that's how they do things day in and day out. Finally, I've saved the best and most important for last. Don't worry, I'm not going to ask you to stand up this time. It may seem like hockey is my life, but the only thing that can compete with it, in fact supersede it, is my family. My wife, Shelley, and I have been married 44 years. It's actually a testament to her endurance, not mine. We met at Cornell. We actually went to many of the hockey games together. We've been together for 48 years. And she is my rock and the glue of our family. We have 6 wonderful children, our 3 and their spouses, Lauren, Brian, Jordan, Lauren, Brittany, and Weston, and they have given us 5 incredible grandchildren, Matt and Zoe, who are here tonight and have to go to school tomorrow morning, and Elodie, Blake, that's the deal they have, and Maddie. And by the way, Matt plays AAA hockey for the Avalanche in New Jersey, so we get USA Hockey's efforts as well as anybody. But to my family, I love you, I thank you, and you are what make me tick. Your patience and willingness to indulge my obsession. This game, which actually I think has become your obsession as well, is unending. So again, I love you and I thank you. In conclusion, I want to thank the selection committee and everyone in this room tonight. This is an incredible honor, but what I am most grateful for is what you have all done for this game. Your efforts have made American hockey the best that it has ever been, and its future has never been brighter. Thank you again for this wonderful honor.